Welcome my dear students. Now CBSE class 10 Geography chapter 6 Manufacturing Industries. Let us look what are the important things in this chapter. First of all, what is manufacturing? Production of goods in large quantities and after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. There is an exact definition for manufacturing in geography: production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials and to more valuable products is called manufacturing. Then, what is the importance of manufacturing industries? What are the importance of manufacturing industries? First one, manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development. It is the backbone of development. That is the first one. Second one, it modernizes agriculture. Manufacturing industries, it modernizing agriculture. And third, it also reduce the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income. How manufacturing industries reduce the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income? By giving them jobs, by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sector. Then the fourth one, eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. Then last one, export of manufactured goods expands trade and also commerce and brings in much needed foreign exchange. Because of all these reasons, manufacturing industries are very important. First one, manufacturing industries are the backbone of development. It modernizes agriculture. It reduces the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by giving them jobs in the secondary and tertiary sector. It eradicates unemployment and poverty, and also exporting of manufactured goods expand trade and commerce and also brings much foreign exchange. These are the 5 reasons why manufacturing industries are important. Then there is another question. Agriculture and industry are move hand in hand. Why? Agriculture and industry are move hand in hand. The agro industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture by raising its productivity. How? They depend on the latter for raw materials and sell their products such as irrigation pumps, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, plastics and PVC pipes, machines and tools, etc. to the farmers. So they move hand in hand. Industries depends agriculture for raw materials, and also agriculture, the farmers are depending industries for irrigation pumps, fertilizers, insecticides, such as the things. So this is the way agriculture and industries are move hand in hand. Then, which is the ideal location of an industry? Which is the ideal location of an industry? The location of an industry influenced by the availability of raw material, the availability of labor, the availability of capital, power and market. Such places are the ideal location of an industry. But there is a problem that it is rarely possible to find all these factors available at one place. That means the availability of raw material, labor, capital, power and market. All these availability may be sometimes rarely possible. So in such cases, the most appropriate place, otherwise the ideal location of an industry where all the factors of industrial location are either available or can be arranged at a lower cost. This is the ideal location of an industry. Then industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Why? Industrialization and urbanization move hand in hand. Why? Industries are located in or near the cities. Most of the industries are located in or near the cities. So automatically industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Cities provides markets and also provides services such as banking, insurance, transport, labor, consultants, and financial advice to the industry. So these type of various services are available in the cities. That is why most of the industries are located in or near the cities. Many industries tend to come together to make use of the advantages offered by the urban centers, by the cities, known as agglomeration of economies. Because many industries are coming to utilize almost all these services. That is known as agglomeration economies. So the next thing we discussed, which is the ideal, what are the major factors for the ideal location of an industry? Availability of raw material, labor, capital, power, and market. But it is rarely possible to find all these factors available at one place. In such cases, most appropriate place of an industry, all the factors of industrial location are either available or can be arranged at a lower cost. So industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Why? Because most of the industries are located in or near the cities. Why? Because there are several services such as banking, insurance, transport, labor, consultants, and financial advice it provides by these urban centers. So most of the industries coming together to make the use of the advantages offered by the urban centers is known as agglomeration economies. Then classification of industries. So we can classify industry based on some criteria. First one, on the basis of source of raw materials used. On the basis of source of raw material used, the industries are classified into two: agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Example of agro-based industries are cotton, woolen, jute, silk, etc. Mineral-based industries are iron and steel. So the industries are using raw material as agricultural products, that is agro-based industries. The industries are using minerals for their production, that is called mineral-based industries. Then the second classification, according to their main role, the industries are again classified into basic or key industries. What is basic or key industries? Which supply their products or raw materials to manufacture other goods. Example, iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminum smelting industries. That means basic or key industries supply their products or raw materials to manufacture other goods. That is the basic or key industries. And according to their main role, the second classification again divided into consumer industries. Consumer industries means that produce goods for direct use by consumers. Which are the products are directly used by consumers? That is consumer industry. Example, sugar, toothpaste, paper, sewing machine, such as whatever the things we are using in our home. That is all the consumer industries, the consumer products. Then the third classification of industries on the basis of capital investment. It is small scale industries to the maximum investment allowed, and that means rupees 1 crore. The maximum investment allowed is rupees 1 crore. Such type of industries we can call as small scale industries, and more than 1 crore it is called large scale industries. Then the fourth classification of industries, that is on the basis of ownership. It is first one, public sector. Public sector means those industries owned and operated by government agencies. Example, BHEL, SCIL, etc. And also on the basis of ownership, the second classification, private sector. That means those industries owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals. Example, Tisco, Bajaj Auto Limited, such as the private companies. Then joint sector industries, the third classification under on the basis of ownership. It is the joint sector, those industries jointly operated by, run by the state and individuals or a group of individuals. Oil India Limited, such as the examples. And the fourth classification under the on the basis of ownership, cooperative sector industries. Those industries owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers or both. Owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers or the suppliers of raw materials and workers. For example, sugar industry in Maharashtra, the kayar industry in Kerala. Then the fifth classification of industry, that is the industry is based on the bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods. The classification is heavy industries such as iron and steel industries. That means their products will be very heavy. Light industries, that means the use of light raw materials and produce light goods such as electrical industries. The home appliances such as things are coming in the light industries. So the fifth classification based on the bulk and weight of raw material used, heavy industries and light industries. Heavy industries, their raw material will be very heavy and bulky, and light industries, they use the light raw materials and produce light goods. So, example, electrical industries. These are the major 5 classifications of manufacturing industries. Then the first one, based on the classification, the first one, agro based industries. One example we are going to discuss, jute textiles. India is the largest producer of raw jute, and our country India, it is the second place as an exporter after Bangladesh. There were about 80 jute mills in India during the time of 2010-11. Then there is a question, why most of jute mills are located in West Bengal, especially along the banks of the Hooghly River? Why most of the jute mills are located in West Bengal, especially mainly along the banks of Hooghly River? The reason is that the proximity of the jute producing area, the availability of the jute producing areas. Second one, inexpensive water support from the Hooghly River, and also a good network of railways, roadways, waterways to facilitate the movement of raw material to the mills. Abundant water for processing raw jute. For the processing of raw jute, abundant water is needed. That is also available there. And also, another thing, cheap labor from West Bengal and the nearby states, that is adjoining states of Bihar, Orissa and Uttar Pradesh. And also Kolkata, one of the nearest urban center. Kolkata as a large urban center provides banking, insurance and port facilities for export of jute goods. Because of all these reasons, most of the jute mills are located in West Bengal, especially along the banks of Hooghly River. Then the second example of the agro-based industries, sugar industry. India stands second as a world producer of sugar. India occupies the first place in the production of ghar and kandsari, one of the type of sugar. In 2010-11, there were over 662 sugar mills in the country, and it spread over the states Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat. 60% of mills are in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. This industry is seasonal in nature. These are the major features of the sugar industry. It is ideally suited to the cooperative sector. Then another question, why sugar mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western states, especially in Maharashtra? Why most of the sugar mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western states, especially in Maharashtra? The reason, the sugarcane produced in this region here has a higher sucrose content. That is the first reason why most of the sugar mills are shifting and concentrating in the southern and western states. That means the sugarcane produced in those regions has higher sucrose content. And also the cooler climate also ensures a longer crushing season. So during the time of harvest, the crushing season, the cooler climate is needed. That is also available there. And also the cooperatives are most successful in these states. The cooperative sectors are more successful in these states. Then what are the problems faced by sugar industry? It is seasonal in nature. That is the first reason. Old and inefficient methods of production. Transport delay in reaching cane to factories. Transport delay may reduce the sucrose content. So transport delay in reaching cane to factories, and also the need to maximize the use of bagasse in the factories. After one or two times using the sugar cane, it is throwing away. So the maximum want to utilize, that is the bagasse. So these are the major features and why the sugar mills are shifting and concentrating in the southern and especially western states, and also what are the challenges faced by the sugar industries. Then mineral based industries, some examples we can discuss. Industries that use minerals and metals as raw materials are called mineral based industries. First example we can take iron and steel industry. It is the basic industry. The features of the iron and steel industry, first one, it is the basic industry. Steel is needed to manufacture a variety of engineering goods, construction material, defense, medical, telephonics, scientific equipment, and a variety of consumer goods. Production and consumption of steel is often regarded as the index of a country's development. How much production of and consumption of steel, that is marked as the index of a country's development. Iron and steel is a heavy industry because all the raw materials as well as finished goods are heavy and bulky. Steel production, India ranked 4th among the world crude steel producers. So these are the first example, iron and steel industries under mineral based industries. Then another question, why Chota Nagpur Plateau region has the maximum concentration of iron and steel industries? What is the peculiarity of the Chota Nagpur Plateau region? Why most of the iron and steel industries are concentrated in this region? First reason, the low cost of iron ore. The low cost of iron ore available there, and high grade raw materials availability. Then cheap labor and vast growth potential in the home market. And what are the problems faced by iron and steel industry? We are not able to perform to our full potential largely due to high cost and limited availability of coking coal, and also lower productivity of labor, irregular supply of energy, and a poor infrastructure. Because of these 4 reasons, we are not able to perform to our full potential. We already discussed the importance of industries, the classification of industries, and some certain industries in the agro based and mineral based industries we discussed. Now we are in the first part we discussed the importance of industries. Now industries are also causing for pollution, that is industrial pollution. Majorly 4 types of pollution. Industries are responsible for 4 types of pollution: air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, and noise pollution. We can take the first one, air pollution. By the presence of high proportion of undesirable gases, sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Most of the industries are emitting these type of undesirable gases. Smoke is emitted by chemical and paper factories, brick kilns, refineries, and smelting plants, and burning of fossil fuels in big and small factories that ignore pollution norms. Most of the industries are not following the pollution norms, and they are emitting these type of hazardous smokes. Toxic gas leaks can be very hazardous with a long-term effect. One of the example, Bhopal gas tragedy. Air pollution adversely affect human health, animals, plants, buildings, and atmosphere as a whole. So this type of air pollution happening because of the industries that they are not following the pollution norms. This is the way industries are making air pollution. Then the second one, water pollution. It caused by organic and inorganic industrial waste and effluents discharged directly into rivers without any proper discharge. It caused by organic and inorganic industrial waste and effluents discharged directly into rivers. The main culprits in this regard are paper, pulp, and chemical textile industries discharging into the water bodies. Thermal pollution. It occurs. What is thermal pollution? It occurs when hot water from factories and thermal plants is drained into rivers, directly flowing into rivers and ponds before cooling. That is known as thermal pollution. Waste from nuclear power plants, nuclear and weapon production facilities cause cancers, birth defects and miscarriages. Then land pollution. What is land pollution? Dumping of waste, especially glass, harmful chemicals, industrial effluents, packaging, salts and garbage renders the soil useless. Wherever these type of waste are dumping, that region, that land will be useless, that soil will be useless. Rainwater percolates to the soil, carrying the pollutants to the ground, and the groundwater also get contaminated. Then this is the way the land pollution occurring. Then the noise pollution. It not only results in irritation and anger, it can also cause hearing impairment, increased heart rate and blood pressure, among other physiological effects. What is noise pollution actually? Unwanted sound is an irritant and a source of stress, especially in the factories, the high sounds of the machines. Industrial and construction activities, machinery, factory equipment, generators also make a lot of this type of noise. This is the things, noise pollution happened by industries. Then how can we control this type of environmental degradation? How can the industrial pollution of fresh water can be reduced? Minimizing use of water for processing by reusing and recycling it in 2 or more successive stages. That means the water used again want to reuse and recycle instead of depending on fresh water. Minimizing use of water for processing by reusing and recycling. Then harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements instead of depending on groundwater or the river water. Harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements. And treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in rivers and ponds. Scientifically want to treat before discharging into rivers and ponds. This is the way we can reduce the industrial pollution of fresh water. Then treatment of industrial effluents can be done in 3 phases. First one, primary treatment by mechanical means. Secondary treatment by biological process. Tertiary treatment by biological, chemical and physical process. By using these type of 3 methods, the industrial effluents can be done. The treatment of industrial effluents can be done. Then how can we control other pollutions? Particulate matters in the air can be reduced by fitting smokestacks to factories. Instead of directly emitting into the air, it can be reduced by fitting smokestacks to factories. Smoke can be reduced by using oil or gas instead of coal in factories. Instead of using coal in factories, we can use oil or gas. That can be reduced smoke. Machinery and equipment can be used, and generators should be fitted with silencers. Almost all machinery can be redesigned to increase energy efficiency and reduce noise. So the noise pollution we can reduce. Noise absorbing material may be used apart from personal use of earplugs and earphones. So this is the way we can control in a certain extent other types of pollution. So these are the things the major important things in this chapter, manufacturing industries. What is manufacturing? What is the importance of manufacturing industries? Agriculture and industries move hand in hand. Why? Classification of industries, then agro-based industries, jute and sugarcane, mineral-based industries, iron and steel industries, and industrial pollution. 4 types of pollutions are occurring: air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, and noise pollution. So these are the things in this chapter. So just revise. Okay, thank you.